we would look at each other at the end and what?
But
It's just
what now?
yo.
Hi guys, welcome to the next episode of the JÉVON Room. My name is Marc-Levi, I'm the brand owner and I'll be your host for today. To the right of me I have
Archie, fashion content creator.
and to the further right of me I have
Bradley Salu, content creator.
and today we're going to be discussing being black, gay and family dynamics. So I think we should start with our coming out stories.
It's again me. So I got exposed as the first coming out story, and then I told my parents separately. When I first came out to like my friends and my peers, I think I told one person, but basically the shortcut of the story is I was around 16 and I started talking to this guy, and like some friends that I had from secondary school, they had my password on Facebook and they could see my messages. Imagine now, like it's year 11, sixth form holidays, just before we go out. I go to Africa for 4 weeks. I come back, and then I remember it was like results day, and I went to one friend, and she was like to me, "Bradley, you good?" And it's the way she asked me, like, "Bradley, you good?" I was like,
What do you know that
I was like, honestly, I know you
so
know
scary.
something, but I don't know what you know.
What?
But obviously, I'm not thinking in the back of my mind, oh, that someone has my Facebook password. So I'm just like, okay, that was a bit odd. Now we go into sixth form, and then bare people just come up to me like, oh, Bradley, like if you need me, I'm here for you. If you need like a friend, like I'm there. Like, are you sure who your real friends are? I'm just like, why are you coming up to me with all of this stuff? Funny enough, the person that actually had my Facebook password and was a friend of mine at the time comes up to me, and they're like, Bradley, who did you tell about you being gay? And I'm like, no one. She's like, well, everyone knows. I was like,
The friend that had the password.
the friend that had the password. I'm like, what do you mean everyone knows? She asked me to ask myself, did my best friends go out and share? I'm going around literally everyone saying, are you the one that told the thingy? Are you the one that told the thingy? So then I come to the culprits now, and I'm telling you, when I've never screamed or shouted so much in my life and been so angry. Because for me, it was a thing of like, I was going into sixth form thinking, I'm going to tell people about my sexuality.
Right.
Like,
At your own
do you know what I mean? Like,
pace,
I'm ready
yeah.
to start telling people, and then I felt like that was robbed out of me. And because I was so ready to do it, like, I just felt so disrespected that someone took that from me. My parents now, that's a different one. Coming out to my parents, I was like 20, 21. And I remember like that year, I decided like I'm gonna tell my mom that I'm gay. So every time I'd go back home from uni, I'd pick up the courage. Okay, now I'm gonna tell her, and I wouldn't tell her. Then this one time, we were sitting down, and she mentioned something about me getting married to a woman, and I was like, who says I'm getting married to a woman? There was a moment, yeah, where you know when you both look at each other,
Yeah.
and she's looking at you like, you want to rethink what you just said. And I'm like, do I? I'm like, do I want to rethink what I just said? You know that meme with the like,
Yeah.
Did you think it through or did it just come out like, what do you mean?
No. The thing is, because I decided like during that time I'm gonna tell her.
You were waiting
It was just
for that.
yeah, I was waiting for the right
Yeah.
moment. But when she said you're gonna marry a woman, I was like, babe.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. So I was like, who says I'm gonna marry a woman? She looks at me. I look at her. She's like, what do you mean? I said, who says I married a woman? And she's like, Buddy, what are you saying? And again, I'm thinking to myself, do I want to go back or should I just keep going? I said, let me keep going.
No, you're in now.
Yeah, I said, let me
that's
keep
it,
going.
that's it.
I said, babes, I mean exactly what you think I mean. And she's just like, Bradley, what are you telling me? I was like, babes, I'm gay. And she was just like, no, you're not. So we went around the circle of like,
What?
We went around the blame game to like, did something happen to you, to you don't know who you are, to you're following Western ideals, to what did I do? Like we literally went through the whole circle, and like that was just a lot for my mum, like admittedly to deal with. So I won't go into everything, but like it was just a lot for my mum to deal with. After that now, my mum's like, we need to tell your dad. Bear in mind, my parents are divorced. So my dad has never been to the house since they got divorced. So she calls my dad up now, and she's like, he needs to come back home. And he comes in now, we all sit down. My mum's like, so I brought you here today because your son needs something to tell you. I'm just sitting there like, Jesus. So yeah, basically, I'm gay. He's like, again, what do you mean? And then he went around the whole circle. But the funny thing about my mum is, yeah, she did the whole turning around and she did the blame game. My dad was just like, it's everybody else's fault but mine. Like, he was just like, like, what's going on here?
What have you done?
Yeah, what have you done?
Yeah.
This is because of the way you raised him. I did everything. And like, when for me it was a mad situation because like I had two people just coming at me at once. But it was mad because like I felt like I was in some like type of bubble in some type of movie. I just felt like these words, I'm being protected by something, but I don't know what that thing is right now. But I'm just here looking like this.
Like,
I was just mad. It was just mad. But that was like the premise of me coming out to my parents. But in terms of like how my relationship is with my parents right now, it's just a thing of like they're both just hoping that one day I'm gonna turn around. Like with my mum, it's like
really?
yeah, with my mum it's the thing of like she's just praying that one day I'm just gonna tell her that I'm straight. And my dad is literally every couple of months is like, so have you thought about the conversation we had? Like, are you still gay? I'm like, yeah, I'm still gay. And he's just like, do you know how that makes me look or the family look? I'm like, I don't care how that makes the family look. Like, I'm your son type of thing. So that's literally what we have every 6 months.
You know, it's lucky you got each other though. So what's your story with your like? Your parents?
My parents are calm. Like, I came out like literally as soon as I went to uni, I was like, yeah, like this is a fresh start for me. So I was dating someone at the time. They did some left shit. And my mum called me and I was like, obviously I was upset. It's your first like, not heartbreak, but it's like, who's done this to me? So I was talking to her about the ex, but I was like, they done this. She was like, stop crying for a second. She was like, is this a boy or a girl? She was like, okay, carry on. And then that was it. And then my dad, he comes out with, what's his name? So he already knew. Friends on the other hand, I had this best friend who I just called T for now. And like this was the person I would see all the time. Like, see, I'm thinking, right, like if it's one person that I can tell, it's gonna be him. Because he knows me like the back of his hand, you get me? Like we've been on holiday together, we slept in the same bed. And his mum had said to him at one time, don't you think Mark is gay? And he was like, no, like he just wears colourful jackets and stuff. That's just how he is. And I'm thinking like, like why can you not just be like maybe? And he was like, my mum told me this, you know. And I'm like, oh, that's mad, you know. He was like, nah, like we're going brothel. Can't believe this. You're not gay. That's the only like conflict I've really had. Since that experience, I would rather meet people and then let them know from the get-go I am gay. I don't want to be making friends with people. I'm telling you later, we built a strong relationship or friendship, and then
you don't.
You try to switch up. That's who I am.
Sounds like my dad. Sounds like my dad. It's a thing. My dad said the same thing of like, we're gonna find your wife. I was like, okay, good luck. They were literally like, this is the worst thing you could come and tell us. I was like, so you're telling me there's niggas out there who are killers, who are rapists, who do all sorts, and me, because I want to sleep with a man, this is the worst thing I could have come and tell you.
The worst
I was like, that's
the
good
worst
to know.
thing.
I was like, that's good to know. That's good to know. So I could have been a killer, I can be a rapist, that's fine. But me being gay, hey! I was like, okay. I had all them debates, and it's like, at the end of the day, I don't think people realise how stubborn I can be. So, like, when it comes to
we know,
but I think my family are getting to know. Like, obviously, my parents knew as a kid I could be stubborn, but like, when it comes to my ideals and what I see for myself and what I believe, like, there's nothing you can penetrate. And I'll come with my facts, and we will debate, and we will look at each other at the end, and what? It's just
what, you know?
But not like that. But like, honestly, but it's a thing. No.
For clarification. You're Congolese
And Ivorian.
I'm Jamaican.
And I'm Nigerian. So like our like
your
experiences
cultures will
are,
be
like, African.
Yeah, it will be quite similar. But I don't know about
well,
similar.
okay, so my thing is actually my parents are very liberal. I never told my family for like time, but I feel like all growing up I've always been dressing, I dress like kind of flamboyant. I feel like people kind of just knew, but like I never really had girlfriends. But at the same time, my parents never really had conversations with me about dating, sex and all that stuff, so it was never really like a problem. I got to end of year 11, year 12, I came up to my sister first. Just kind of like from there, kind of up to my best friends, other people at school, and then I only came up to my parents in like 2018, because I was doing a TV show. I was kind of like, the only time I'm going to come up to
because she was,
so I was like, I'm going to be on TV and I'm going to be talking about the fact that I'm gay. Like, they kind of need to know before, otherwise it's going to be sticky. There was literally a clip of me on the phone, like, I'm gay as fuck, like, on the TV. Like, it was a bit mad. So I was just like, okay, I can't see shit like that. And, you know.
Out of the blue.
So I think it was like Easter time before I went on the show, because I went on the show in like summertime, and then it was weird because it kind of just came out very like casually. Like I almost said it as a joke at first. Mum wanted to like give me her bag, like her handbag or something. And then my auntie was like, oh, why would you wear that handbag? I think I said, oh, maybe I am. And they were like, They called my dad in, and my dad was like, what's going on here? And they were like, Archie says he's gay. And then my dad was like, are you? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, cool. and then walked out.
That's cool. Oh, so he had to go to the bathroom and cry.
And it was the next day that my dad had like a serious talk with me about it. Like, oh, so like when you said that, were you joking or were you serious? Serious. Okay. I was like, okay. But I always knew they're very liberal, so I never thought it was going to be a problem.
Yeah. The next thing I want to discuss is any issues any of us have had in terms of self-perception when it comes to our, not only sexualities, but our personality, like the way we are. I think that there's also a lot to discuss in terms of this whole like femme, masc thing.
I feel like what other people don't realise with me is like, what gets a bit techie, like dating like non-black people, but even black people as well. As like a dark-skinned man in society, especially in the media, there's like a masculinization of dark-skinned black men where you're expected to be more masculine. I guess at times I can be quite femme, but at times I can be quite masc, and especially in my like dressing and stuff. So if people are like just getting to know me, they might think, oh, like he's like really masc, and I'm just like, no, not really. And even when I am, that doesn't take away from anything else. Like I'm just me. And then they will hold you to this standard, and as soon as you don't meet that standard, they're a bit like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why? And I'm just like, because I'm me. And they don't realize it, but they set this double standard for themselves where they're allowed to do certain things.
But you're
not allowed to do certain
things.
Like I've had people in the past when you're dating them and they expect you to not be too emotional. But they're allowed to be super emotional. They're allowed to be like super angry, or super upset, or super this, but you have to just not be getting your feelings as much. And it's weird. It gets weird like with people like that. I know not everyone's like that, but it presents itself in a lot of different relationships. I'm just like, why are people like this?
I think a lot of it is like projecting.
People
like,
not
oh, I don't know who I am, or you should be this way because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Like I want to be this. I want you to make me feel like this.
And I feel like a lot of gay men who aren't fully comfortable with their sexuality, the way they make themselves comfortable is almost by convincing themselves of weird like dichotomies. Like if I'm dating a man, for example, who's really masc, then it's almost like I'm not really gay because I'm dating like a really masc guy. I hate people putting me in boxes actually, because I know when you know how much of like a different like person you are, when you like to do loads of different things, you know, like one thing one set way. Hate people thinking that because you dress a certain way, or you speak a certain way, or you like certain things, or you look a certain way, that means that A plus B equals C. Like
especially in gay dynamics, is that we're supposed to be the most free.
We're supposed to be free. Like,
so what are we doing?
Like this is, you're two men in a relationship. You're two men. There's not gonna be a this person and a that person. You're two men. Simple as that. So like as soon as you, the more you learn to accept the fact that you're in a relationship with another man as a man, the more you'll realize that there's really no expectation. There cannot be any expectation for one person to do one thing. It might work, for some people it works to have certain dynamics within their relationships. That's fine, but more time it's really because you're not really unpacking your kind of like relationship with your own sexuality. But I guess for some people it works. But me, I could never be with somebody who doesn't kind of like fully understand that they're in a relationship with a man. So it's like, you can't expect me to do anything. Because if I want to do it, I will do it. And if I don't want to do it, I won't want to do it. And that's going to be about my character, my personality.
The masc men don't even be masc, because when the cheeks become they're screaming and shouting and, do you know what I mean? Not even them cute screams, them cute like they be talking to you on the phone and like yeah, be alright. Then you come to the bedroom and it's like and it's like, what?
Yo,
how did we get here? We went through these things at a younger age with like our family, friends, etc. During summer, someone came up to you at recess and was, you can speak about that.
What happened first is that some girl came up to me and she just like, oh, I really fuck with you, like I like your content, I keep it up. Then she was just like, I didn't know you before, but my brother watched you and he said like you really helped him through certain things, like he had certain challenges with his sexuality, coming out to the family and stuff like that. There's just a lot of things, I won't get into it because obviously it's like their stuff, but she was just trying to make it very clear, you need to be out there sharing your story, or people need to be out there sharing their story, because you don't know how many people are actually watching and how that can affect them. For me, my advice would just be, just share your story, like just share who you are. We have so many different dynamics. For example, we're both African, but then our African experience isn't the same. We're all black, but our black experience isn't the same. So it's like, share your experience and just let people know who you are, what it's like to be you. And I feel like that would definitely help people to just open their mind.
I feel like there's obviously like a happiness that comes with comfortability. So you feel like, okay, well, I'm not really like rocking the boat too much. I'm not kind of making any problems with anybody else, but are you really happy? Like,
Yeah, you need to be uncomfortable to
really
progress.
grow. To
Yeah,
really, like,
otherwise
you know,
you're just staying surface level.
yeah, and uncomfortable doesn't mean you're unhappy. So, you know, you can still kind of push yourself, but, you know, going at your pace, because your pace could be a lot faster than you give yourself credit for. So go at your own pace, but also have like a vision for yourself. Like, I should be here, I could be better, I could be happy, I could be living like my most authentic life. Like, do that, be that version of yourself, because that's the person that you want people to remember you for. That's the person you want to live your life to be. Like, go at that pace.
And be gay. Be gay. No, you're not laughing. The reason why I'm saying be gay,
It's just random.
No, because
Or bi.
no, or
queer.
yeah.
Queer. Yeah.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Or anything.
Or the
Be
bits
what
of
you
it.
want to be. What I'm saying is,
Be a real bitch.
you know.
Be a real bitch.
Well, that's it.
No, you're gonna have to close that properly.
Yeah.
That is this episode of the JÉVON Room. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.